I am so confused when I hear a guy who created thousands of jobs, created $1 billion of value for people who owned equity, that you're worried about saying, I don't want to be political about the American flag because it may offend somebody.
No, I didn't say that.
I know that. But what I'm saying to you is even the fact that you gave that qualification to me um, is where I don't think we need to be there. Here's what I mean by that. I'm talking at this Christian school that my kids go to, and the dean. What is above a dean? What do they call the person that runs the school? What's
I thought it was Dean.
No, there's one other guy. There's something about it that whatever it is, the dean reports to this guy. Do you guys know what that's called? Or no, not principal. It's a different name they have for him. Headmaster. Is it headmaster?
Sure.
Okay. So headmaster, and he gets up there and he's giving this talk to 600 kids, and he's bringing me up Veterans Day. He's like, well, America's not perfect, and we have this, and we have flaws, and all this. Like peak of COVID, like a year and a half ago. I'm standing there. I'm like, dude, like, where have you lived? Have you lived in Iran? Have you lived in other places? Like, what they think about this place? And I get up and I say, first of all, thank you for this, and blah 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 blah. And I said, America's the greatest country in the world, okay? And we don't care if you're a Christian. I don't know what your faith is. We're getting along. I'm Middle Eastern, bro. You're white. Every time we're together, we get along. Best conversations when I'm talking to you. Fantastic conversation. I got so much respect for you to build what you build. Your wife came in, sweetheart, gave me a hug, warm, welcome. Your peers, your people here, how you're working, how you're moving, what you're doing, having a blast, creating great content, great conversations. But I do think we need to have some pride in how great of a country we live in. I think we need to sell it. I had Governor DeSantis on the podcast 2 days ago. We did an hour live podcast. He flew into the office, and it was a great conversation. He's one of the candidates that's, potentially presidential candidate. And I said, can you sell America, please? Sell America. And, he did his best to sell America in his point of view. But I think we need to do a better job selling America, selling the ideas of America. Here's what happened in the last couple of years. I'm having this conversation. I don't know if I'm having this conversation with Rogan or whoever I'm having. Maybe it was on the Rogan. Yeah, it's on the Rogan podcast we're talking. On communities that hurt America, okay? I said, one is the tolerant Christians who hurt America. They're like, it's okay. It's okay. You're either a Christian or you're not. You can say whatever you want about Muslims. But guess what Muslims are? They believe their religion. Okay? And you're not going to be able to say things about their prophet. You can't. Go say something about Prophet Muhammad, see what happens. Go say something about Jesus, see what happens. Yeah, it's okay. He's just upset, Okay, cool. All right. The other one is libertarians, because libertarians who are like, do your thing, bro. As long as you do your thing, I'm good. Do your thing. 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 All right. Now they're doing their thing with your kids. Now what do you want to do? And it's too late. It's in your school. Well, no. I didn't say that. Well, I'm sorry. You said libertarian, to each his own. Well, no. That doesn't mean you come and do this to my kids. No, it's called, as long as you do your thing, I'm good. The do your thing, they came back and haunted you through your kids. No, I'm not cool with that. Well, then maybe you're not really a libertarian. Maybe there's a different element to your politics that you got to really reconsider. The wealthy, conservatives who raise good kids, who all of a sudden have all this money, but they're afraid. God forbid it leaks, that they have an element of conservative. Oh my God, I may lose my audience. I may lose this. I may lose that. And they'll go, okay, we won't be invited to those parties. And they're not going to like us. And what was on? Today I'm having a conversation with Chris Cuomo. Cuomo and I have turned into very good friends. We don't agree together politically. We have a great conversation together. I'm at his house in Sag Harbor, and we have lunch, and we go to his place, and all of a sudden he surprised me with a call with Robert Downey Jr. Hey, what's up, PBD? Oh, what's up, Robert Downey? And I say, hey, kids, come see what this is. Oh, my God. Imagine a reaction of kids who watch Iron Man die, and they're like crying, saying, he's alive. He's alive. He's alive right here in the flesh. But we're having these conversations. I'm sitting thinking to myself, did these guys know my political positions that I take? And we're getting along. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. This is what I believe in. But these Republicans, conservatives that took their money, and they're like, look, as long as we protect our money, just buy real estate, have some assets, but don't do anything with all this money we have. No problem. The other guys went and bought New York Times. The other guys went and bought WAPO, Time Magazine. China owned Forbes. 95% of Forbes was owned by China. And 2021 International Woman of the Year is who? Hillary Clinton. What? She doesn't run a business. How about Oprah Winfrey? How about Sheryl Sandberg? You give it to Hillary? What did she do in business? Forbes is all business. The guy who ran Forbes, the son, the guy who started it was his father, but the guy that ran it, that took it to the next level, he had a jet. Google this. It says Capitalist Tool. His jet on the corner, the name of the plane was Capitalist Tool. His yacht, it would say Capitalist Tool. The helicopter said Capitalists Tool. These are the tools a capitalist use. He had all biggest collection of those eggs. You know the Russian eggs, there's a name for those Russian eggs. Fabergé. That was estimated to be $500 million.
Whoa.
He had 15 of them. His best friend was Elizabeth Taylor. Best friend. For his 70th birthday party, if you've never seen this guy's documentary, his 70th birthday party. Everybody's there. You know what he gives to everybody on his birthday party? A Rolex. Who does that? This guy's a capitalist at the core. And guess what we admired back then? Wow. Life of the rich and famous. Today is life of the poor and the miserables. No, we're admiring things that people are grown up to want to pursue. No, we got to edify the guys that busted their tails to build a company. We got to edify the people that are creating economy. We got to edify people that are going out there being good, net positive to society. We need more Tom Billions in America. But those three communities, and I can keep going with a couple other communities, but I'll stick to those three communities. I think they have given others a lot of power. As a guy who was an atheist for 25 years of my life in the Army, I've told this story before. In the Army, I was invited to go to this camp with this man, 70-year-old man, and we were able to jump into this lake and play pool and all this stuff. But every night for 1 hour, he had to sit down with him and listen to him read the Bible. And I would sit in the back. I'm like, dude, you can tell me about Bible all you want. Why don't you go back to Iran and see what I saw when we got bombed? Now go ahead. Go see what I saw. Go see the parks I used to go to and these buildings that were torn down. When I see what's going on right now in Palestine, Israel, I live this. The whole alarm. Tawajjo, tawajjo. Alamat qermez. Attention, attention. Red signal means that planes have crossed the border. The enemy is here. You know what that does when I listen to this? I go to YouTube sometimes and listen to see how quickly I can go to the 8-year-old kid and see it. The other day, my sister sends me a picture, says, hey, this is me and you at 8 years old. Do you remember this? I said, okay, what's the big deal with this picture? We got a lot of pictures like this. She says, you know how you always talk about the windows Dad used to tape? Look at the windows. I see the windows. It's the tapes from my dad. They put the tapes because when bombs would explode, they didn't want the glass to explode all over us. They wanted it to stick together. That's what we did in Iran. And, so today, when you see this whole concept of, I'm at this camp in the military, he gives me a Bible. He says, my parents gave me this Bible December 24th of 1974. And son, I think you need this more than me. I said, sir, I promise you're giving it to the wrong guy. He says, just please take it from me. You need this. I said, I don't need this. Keep it. It's a gift your parents gave you. I have the Bible till today. He gives it to me. I don't read the Bible. It sits at my barracks in the Army. But I started praying 3 times a week, 3 times a day, every day. And here's how my prayer was. God, I don't believe you exist. I think it's for weak people. But if you do exist, cool. Let's see what you got. If you don't, it's going to feel good talking to myself anyways because I know nobody in boot camp. Now, from Iran, there's not a lot of Iranians in boot camp. So eventually, that idea of having faith is what Hitler feared. He did not want people to have faith. The whole Dietrich Bonhoeffer story, if you read what he did, he didn't want people to have faith. He wanted to eliminate having faith. Does that remind you of anything? We can't pray anymore. We can't do the Pledge of Allegiance when kids go to school. Oh, but we should learn about LGBTQ stuff. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Let's take out faith and let's replace it with somebody may be gay. You may be gay. Your mommy and daddy don't know. So guess what happens? Parents in Florida are saying, we don't feel comfortable because our kids want to transition and Governor DeSantis doesn't allow, so we're moving to California. They're coming to your state. And people have started making decisions saying it's okay if they take these pills under 18 years old. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? So under 18 years old, I can't own a gun. I can't join the Army. I can't, under 16, I can't own a car. I can't have a driver's license. I can't drink alcohol, but I can change my sex. You tell me somebody who has common sense, sell that to me. Over 18, go do it. Totally get it. Under 18, in what logical manual of a group of 100 people that can reason. They could say, this makes sense. There is none of that. It's gaslighting. So we have to sit there and listen to it and say, and by the way, I know this is off-brand for you. This is not the kind of conversations you have on you know, I don't want you to get uncomfortable, but
I am completely comfortable.
For me, I think we need to go back to square one. We need to go sit there and, like, I was having this conversation with a group of people who are not Christians, and I said, you got 5 countries to live in. Where do you want your kids to be raised? A country that's atheist. They don't believe in anything. A country that's Catholic, a country that's Muslim, a country that's this, a country that's Christian. Where do you want to raise your kids? Where do you want to raise your kids? They're like, well, probably more country that's this. Okay, why? Why? Because the values and principles are XYZ. Great. No problem. Even we had the debate the other day. I had 2 Muslims and I had 2 Christians on a podcast, and they're debating each other. And the guy's talking about all these things. And then I said, listen, I have a lot of Muslim friends. I have great conversations. Why don't people immigrate to Muslim countries? Why do Muslims come to America? I don't know. Why do we in America have all these different denominations all over the place? Nobody cares. Why don't they move into these other places? Oh, it's purely economical. Okay. Why aren't we moving into many of these other places that economically they have a lot of oil? Why are we not doing that? Well, it's this, that. Totally get it. By the way, to the Christians who get upset and are like, well, you know, but you don't understand what Muslims are doing, and they're going to do this, and eventually they're going to run America. Of course they are. How could you say that? They're having 2.9 kids per woman, and the rest are not even close. So mathematically, yes, we're eventually going to have a Muslim president if we haven't already had one 8 years ago. We're going to have Congress being controlled by them, and that's also Senate. On the competitive side, instead of being upset about it, why don't you start having more kids? We're not having enough kids. So the people that should be having more kids are not having enough kids, and the people that shouldn't be having kids are having way too many kids. This is also a problem that we're not talking about. So to me, we have a lot of issues. Some we can address the next 3 to 5 years, some that we can fix and make progress on the next 10 years. Some of it's going to be 20, and then some of it is what Ray Dalio talks about. And that he's talking investments, but I'm talking a cycle of 50 years that it's going to take us. But these are the types of things that we should have open dialogue about. We should be comfortable selling America. We got 53 million immigrants in America, more than any other country in the world, and it's not even close. There's a reason for it. We can ask the question why. Maybe we offer the best thing in the world. And we need to protect of that. And people who come here, it shouldn't be, I'm having this conversation with one guy on my podcast. I said, if an immigrant comes to America, who owes who? Does America owe immigrants something? Or is the immigrant that owes the country something? Oh, America owes the immigrant. America doesn't owe immigrant nothing. Nothing. The person coming here owes America everything because they let you in. That's who owes the other person. Well, no, how could you think like that? You're thinking like what they did 100 years ago. No, it's called logic. It's called logic. You're allowing me to come into your homeland and you owe me? Dude, you don't owe me. I owe you. Thank you. So how do you show gratitude? How are you going to show gratitude? So you're an immigrant now in America. How are you going to make America a better place? Like what we had before when you would go to, what's that island that you would go to and you would show what talents you're bringing and then we'll let you into America?
Ellis Island?
Ellis Island, right? Okay, so what do you bring to the table? Nothing. I'm just excited about the benefits you guys offer. But what do you bring to the table? We need to kind of present this argument. Why should you earn the right to come to America? And what can we do to get the best immigrants coming here? What can we do to get the most educated people coming here who are from IIT graduate people? What can we get the people that are best in math, that are bringing something here? These are very basic, common sense conversations that the last 3 years, people from academia and universities have confused the hell out of kids, where kids coming out of college today are questioning common sense. I had a guy that's one of my C-suite executives. Every time I would talk to him, I would say, how's your daughter doing? How's your daughter doing? How's your daughter doing? He says, breaks my heart. I said, tell me why. My daughter and I were like this. I spent $200,000 sending her to this XYZ school in Illinois. Every year, my daughter hated me more. By the 4th year, she didn't even want to come back to the house. She moved to LA.
Wow.
I said, you got to be kidding me. He says, Pat, I spent $200,000 to lose my daughter. Now, here's the thing. Odds are My daughter's probably going to come back, but she may come back at 32. I could lose 10 years of my daughter's life at this age. At this age, I will look at his face. This is a performer. This is a rock star. He's a leader. He's had multiple exits. He's a leader, successful guy. But you could see the anguish on his face. Dude, that's not cool. That's not cool. So you want me to send my kids to you and you pin them against me and I'm the one that paid the money to go to your college? That's not okay. While you're sitting on $60 billion of money in your endowment that you can afford to pay every single student's college tuition for the next 100 years, yet you want us to pay you $60,000 per year and I stay home instead of go to your college? Yeah, you showed us who you are, and I am not going to forget it. I'm going to impose, and I'm going to keep talking about this stuff. And enough people are going to sit there and say, that was an interesting conversation. You know, maybe we need to think about that, babe. Did you hear what he just said? Did you hear what she just said? And then collectively, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years down the line, like I used to not be awakened to see what's really taking place because my head's down building a business. I don't care about politics. I'm just simply trying to build a business. And then all of a sudden you're like, nah, man, I got 4 kids, an 11, 10, and a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old. We got to kind of be involved. I know I went off tangent, but when you made that comment about I don't want to be political America, I think you're the prime example of what makes America great, and we need more people like you.
If you like that clip, check out another powerful clip right here, and I'll see you there.